Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Grace. Today's video is going to be the first in a special strength and conditioning series that I have created. Today's focus is going to be the lower body. So we are going to be focusing on strengthening the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes, the calves as well a little bit. And hopefully this is going to help you build some stability in your warrior poses, your balances, and everyone's favorite chair pose. So you are going to need a couple of props for today's practice. I have a couple of smaller, lighter kettlebells and one heavier. You can of course sub in dumbbells if you don't have kettlebells, that's totally fine. And all of the exercises that I'm doing today, you can of course just do with your body weight, that is fine too. I'm going to give you loads of options as we go, so please don't feel intimidated just because there's some weights hanging around your yoga mat now. So we're going to get started with a warm-up. Come to the top of your mat and find Utkatasana. So feet hip width distance apart. Spread out the toes. Relax your hands down by your waist. Maybe take a roll of the shoulders. You can close your eyes if you want to. Breathe in through your nose. Out through your nose. Take a couple of these. Once you feel you have a nice strong connection to your breath, open your eyes. And for this first little bit, for this warm-up, I want you to stay with your yogic breath, your Ujjayi breath, if you're comfortable with it. And don't worry, I'll tell you when to switch that off. So we're going to start by sitting down and back into kind of half chair pose. So feel that stretch in your shins, feel your quads fire up and lift your arms as you inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to swing the hands down and straighten the legs. Off we go. Inhale, bend and lift, look up. Exhale, swing through. Try and find a little bit of lightness in those knees. Warming up through the legs, the ankles, big swings with the arms. And make sure you're breathing here as well. And if you want to, if you feel like you need to today, feel free to breathe out through your mouth. Well done. Let's take a few more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Let's go for two more. Big reach, look up. Exhale down, bounce into those knees. Last one. Reach all the way up and hold at the top. So look up towards your thumbs, full body stretch, deep breath in. And as we exhale, let's soften into the knees and bow forward. Uttanasana. Maybe tuck your chin to your chest. Take a moment here, check in with the hamstrings today. Notice how they feel. Maybe switch that Ujjayi breath back on. Inhale, let's lift to flat back position. Hands where they feel comfortable, look forward. And as we exhale, we're going to take a big step back on our right foot. Drop that right knee down and come into our low lunge position. So take a breath here. Drop the hips. And then inhale. If you want to, lift your arms, just an option. If you feel like you're still getting warm, keep the fingers down, that's okay. Look up, remember to breathe. Deep breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to transition through to high plank. So tuck your right toes underneath, take a big step back on your left foot. Now really spread out your fingers. I know we're working with the lower body today, but we still need that core firing. So push tall through your shoulders, squeeze your glutes, and on an exhale, lower onto your knees, point your toes back, bring your chest all the way down onto your mat. As we inhale, high cobra. Excuse my clicky elbows if you can hear them. Exhale, downward facing dog. Well done. Now from down dog, if you want to, pedal out those heels. One down, straighten that leg, bend the other knee, and switch. Remember here as well to push tall through the shoulders and try not to forget about that core. Keep it switched on. Well done. Now find a bit of stillness in your down dog. And as always, remember there's no pressure to straighten your legs. If we need to bend those knees, that's okay. Looking forward, we'll move as we inhale. Step your right foot between your thumbs and lower down onto your left knee. Now please don't worry if that transition is not very glamorous. We can bring the right foot through with the hand, that's okay. Sink the hips again, take a breath. Full inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, sink the hips. Big stretch for the hip flexors. Getting them nice and warm. Deep breath in, exhale, hands on the mat. Just come onto your fingertips. Lift that left knee as you breathe in. And as you exhale, big step forward, feet together, and fold over those legs again. Tuck your chin. Big inhale, full body stretch. Reach up, look up to the thumbs. And let's go again. Exhale, fold forwards. Still bending the knees if we need, that's okay. Inhale, flat back. Exhale this time, back on the left foot. Left knee down, nice wide low lunge. Breathe in, lift the arms. Exhale, sink the hips. Moving a little bit quicker this round, breathe in. Breathe out, high plank. Take that right foot back, push tall, protract your shoulders, big breath in. Exhale, knees down, point the toes back. Bring your chest to the mat. Leave those hands where they are. Inhale, high cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a few breaths. Maybe take your down dog on a little walk again if you want, or hold in stillness, whatever works for you. Keep breathing. Nice work. Look forward, inhale, step forward on the left foot, right knee down, low lunge. Point those toes back. Breathe in to lift the arms, and as you exhale, sink through the hips. Remember, keep breathing, look up, inhale, exhale, hands on the mat. Let's lift that right knee as we inhale, and as we exhale, take a big step forward and fold over the legs. Inhale, reach up all the way, Urdhva Hastasana. And as we exhale, bring the hands down by the waist, Tadasana. Maybe roll out those shoulders. Take another breath, in and out through the nose. We're going to intensify this a little bit. Let's bring a little bit of heat to our practice, to our bodies today. And that's coming to everyone's favorite. First time through it in this session, Utkatasana chair pose. If you want to take this with your toes together, that's okay. If it feels more comfortable with the feet hip width, that's fine too. Breathe in, scoop the arms up in front of you. And if you want, hands out in line with the shoulders. If this helps you take the weight more into your heels, by all means, this variation might be better for you. Big breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. And this time as we exhale, we're going to step straight back to downward facing dog. Lift those hips, push through the shoulders. Now on your next inhale, come into split dog, right side. So come up onto the ball of that left foot and lift your right foot towards the ceiling, point the toes. Now make sure you're squaring your shoulders and use that glute to lift the leg. Feel the stretch in the hamstring and exhale, big step forward. Runner's lunge. Well done. Now from here, we're going to come up to warrior one. Back heel comes down onto the mat. If you've got knee issues or any kind of impingement where that doesn't feel good, stay on the ball of that left foot. Let's lift the arms. Inhale. Exhale, hold. Warrior one. Make sure we're really pushing into that front foot and the back foot. Imagine you're trying to rip your mat apart with your feet. Although, maybe if it's an expensive one, you don't want to think about that. Just the sensation. Look up, deep breath in. Exhale. Let's take it back to high plank. Hands down, right foot back. Hold. Full breath in. Feel that core firing up. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat. Inhale, high cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely, guys. Well done. Left side. Left foot lifts up high, split dog. Come onto the ball of that right foot. And then exhale. Take it through. Runner's lunge. Drop the hips. Breathe in. Lift all the way up. Either high lunge or warrior one. your call. If we can here, try and twist the hips forward. And if you want to drop your hands onto your hips to give yourself that self-adjustment, go ahead. Keep breathing, reach up. Deep breath in. Exhale, high plank. Nice and strong, step back. Big breath in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, high cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really well done, guys. Maybe take a breath in through your nose. Sigh out through your mouth. Now reconnect your Ujjayi breath. We're going to flow through that one more time. Look forward, move as you inhale. Step it through to flat back position at the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Coming out the way we came in, Utkatasana, inhale. Exhale, stand up tall, Tadasana. One more time, let's take it from the top. Utkatasana, inhale, weight into the heels. Keep your core switched on, relax those shoulders. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back position. Really feel that stretch in your hammies. Lengthen. Exhale, downward facing dog. Spread out your fingers. Push tall. Let's start on the left side this time. Inhale, ball of the right foot. Left foot lifts. Exhale, big step through. Runner's lunge. Sink the hips. Move with control. Inhale. Warrior one. Exhale. High plank. Take a breath in first. And then move with your exhale. Knees down. Chest down. Inhale. High cobra. Scoop the chest through. Shoulders back. Exhale. Downward facing. Final side. Lift up that right foot, inhale. Exhale, runner's lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, high plank. Really good work, everyone. Squeeze those glutes in high plank. Breathe in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, high cobra. And this time, let's take it back to child's pose. So push yourself back onto your heels first. Let's separate those knees, big toes together, and walk the fingers towards the top of the mat. Just relax your head down. Breathe. And don't worry here if you feel like your hips are a little bit further away from your heels. That's okay. Just use this as a little bit of a check-in with your breath. Notice how that feels. Pay attention to your heart rate. Hopefully it's come up a little bit by now. And then moving nice and slowly, look forward. Inhale to take it up to tabletop pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Well done. Now keeping your core switched on, really pull your belly button towards your spine, nice and strong through those arms. We're going to tiptoe the feet close to the hands. So bring yourself forward on your mat, and let's just hang out in ragdoll for a sec. Take hold of the elbows, maybe rock a little bit side to side. You might want to nod your head yes, shake it no. And then if you've got any kind of lower back issue, I want you to release your hands onto your legs and then walk your way up to stand. But if you're okay, release the hands, head stays heavy, and we'll uncurl all the way up. Take your time, there's no rush here. When you get back to Tadasana, relax your hands by your waist, roll out the shoulders again, deep breath in through the nose. Out through the nose. On your next inhale, open your eyes. Well done, guys. Hopefully feeling a little bit warmer. We're going to start working with a few body weight exercises and then add a little bit of resistance with our weights. So the first exercise I really want to go through is a very simple body weight squat. This is something we're super familiar with in our yoga practice. I'm sure you all love a good Malasana, a nice deep yogi squat. So let's come into that first and check in with how that feels today. So for me, I take my feet to the long edges of the mat, turn my toes out, breathe in at the top, and then as I exhale, I send my knees over the big toes and sit down between the heels, pushing the upper arms onto the inner part of the knees and bringing the palms to prayer. Now, Malasana is an amazing stretch for the glutes, for the ankles, and I really think everyone should be holding Malasana for at least a minute at some point during their day. It's really, really good for the whole body. So let's take a couple of breaths here. Notice today if you're hanging on to a bit of tension into your Malasana, where can you feel it the most? And as always in our yoga practice, just try and notice that. Don't try and judge it too much or think, oh, we need to go and stretch that out like crazy. Deep breaths. And really just pay attention here to how Malasana feels as a stretch. We can really feel it in the hips. And what we can feel is hopefully a deep stretching sensation rather than kind of an active, more resisting sensation in the quads. Okay, take another breath here. And then again, we'll roll up to stand. So you can either straighten those legs, hands on the mat, and then walk the hands up, or we can uncurl all the way. It's up to you. And then once you get to standing, keep those feet where they are and just turn your toes in ever so slightly. So the first thing we want to think about in a body weight squat is our stance. And just as I'm sure you're aware, everyone's stance is a little bit different in Malasana. The same is exactly true in a body weight squat. So basically you want to be in a position that allows you to comfortably sit yourself down where your knees are slightly higher than your hip crease. That's all we need to worry about in a body weight squat, whereas Malasana, we're sending that hip crease all the way down. We want to just come a little bit higher in the squat and then come all the way back up. We also want to make sure that the stance allows us to get our chest between our legs without leading with the chest first. So we don't want to launch our chest towards the mat. We want to slightly lean forward and take it down mostly with the legs, and then pop back up again. So maybe have a couple of little goes here and just play around with your feet. Notice what feels best for you, whether it feels better turning the toes out more or bringing them in. You might be somebody with quite a narrow body weight squat stance. All of this is totally fine. Now, you might be noticing as you're doing this, okay, Grace, what are we doing with our breath? We want to forget about our yogic breath for the time being. So come back up to stand. Once that stance is feeling good, bring your hands out in front of you. Take a breath first. You can sigh it out through your mouth if you want to. Now what we're going to do is match up our breathing with the movement. So as we inhale, we're going to sit down. We're going to think about hitting just below parallel with that hip crease. So knees just slightly higher. We can feel the quads working. And then exhale up, squeeze your glutes. Let's do 10 of these together. Inhale down, exhale up. And as you drive up, really think about pushing into the floor. And at the top of the movement, almost hip thrust your hips through. Not so much that we're kind of extending into the back, but so you can feel your glutes working as part of the movement. A few more here. Keep breathing. Inhale down, exhale up. Last one. And release. Give those legs a little bit of a shake. Well done. Now we're going to add a little bit of weight. Okay, so we're going to go for 3 sets total, 3 sets of 10. Grab your slightly heavier weight for me and bring that out in front of you. Exactly the same stance with those legs. Let's catch our breath. Whew, getting a bit warm. So just notice the more that you do this, it's exactly the same as with your yoga practice, the more comfortable you're going to get with it. And what you might notice, especially as a seasoned yogi, you might be really in the habit of kind of collapsing into your squat. And you might think, oh God, that's really hard for me to come up from. And that's because when we sink all the way into the bottom of the squat, we're making it a bit more passive. What I want you to do is really think about seizing up through the upper body and the legs all the way down and all the way up. Don't worry, it's quite a lot to get used to, so it could take a bit of time. Okay, let's go for that second set. If you've got a heavier weight that you want to use, feel free to grab it. You can, of course, just do this with your body weight. That's okay too. I'm using a kettlebell, so I'm going to turn the handle down and grip onto it like a goblet. So we're doing a goblet squat here. Exactly the same stance with the feet. And off we go, 10 reps. Seize up, all the way down, push up. Squeeze those glutes. Keep breathing. Really drive through those feet. Squeeze the glutes at the top. I want you to keep your core braced all the way down and all the way up. You should be feeling it in those legs. Try not to drop too far into almost a Malasana squat. One more. And release. Well done. Pop your weight down and shake out those legs. Take a little breather. Take a moment. And if it's helping you at all, if between sets you want to take a little breath, come all the way down, back into your Malasana squat. Big stretch for those hips. Now, you might be asking, okay, so why are we doing this, Grace? What's the point? A Malasana squat is fantastic, like I said, but when we're working with a nice strong body weight squat and working to add some weight, we're actually challenging the quads a little bit more. Quads and the glutes. And what that's going to help us do is become stronger, especially in balancing poses. And of course, our warrior poses as well. Okay, make sure you've caught your breath. Let's go again, final time through these squats. Remember, body weight is totally fine here as well. Work your way up to working with weight if you need to. When you're going into the squat, remember everything I've said. Try not to lean too far forward and try not to stick your bum back too much. Keep everything on a nice straight line, up and down. Okay, off we go. Inhale down, exhale up. Keep that control on the descent. Send your knees out in the direction of your toes. And if you're using a weight, keep it out in front of your chest. Let's keep moving. Well done, guys. Go for one more. Big push. And relax. Well done. Set the weight down. Come back to the top of your mat. Let's release those legs. Shake them out a little bit. Reach up. Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, down dog. Take those heels on a bit of a walk. Let's get back in control of our breath. And from here, take your time, roll through your spine, come into your high plank position. And as you exhale, lower down, knees, chest, chin. Big inhale, come up to high cobra. Maybe close your eyes and hold. 3. For 2. Last one. Well done, deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here again. You're more than welcome to sigh out the breath. Nice work. When you're ready to, look forward to the top of your mat. Keep that core tight and tiptoe your feet close to your hands, keeping those legs as straight as we can. Lift to flat back. Inhale. Exhale, bow. Inhale, Urdhva. Exhale, Tadasana. Roll out the shoulders. Breathe in and out. Really well done, guys. I hope you're feeling nice and warm, especially in those legs. We're going to move on to a bit of a unilateral exercise. So what does that mean? It means that we are using one side of the body or one leg through the exercise. So we're going to do some reverse lunges. These are almost taken straight out of every single yoga practice you've probably ever done. We're all super familiar with a high lunge. So we're going to make these a little bit more dynamic by stepping back and then stepping forward. So the same sort of thing with the hands as with our bodyweight squat. Take your hands out in front of you, and we're going to step back on the right foot. What I want you to do is try not to lean the chest too far forward, exactly the same as the squat. Keep your torso stacked, so shoulders on top of the hips. And I know in our yoga practice, we're sometimes quite keen to straighten that back leg out because, let's be honest, it kind of looks pretty, but doesn't really do a whole lot else other than that. So please here, take a little bend in the knee, and you'll feel those hip flexors stretching out a little bit, as well as that glute firing a little bit. And then what you're going to do is take a big, strong step forward and back. Forward and back, sink the hips. Now, it's quite a lot of balance, and we're all in that left leg to begin with. We're going to go for 8 on each side, and same as the squat, we're going to do 3 sets. Okay, so it might be helpful here for you to find your drishti as well, so something to focus your gaze on. So if you feel a little bit wobbly throughout, you can come back to that. Okay, big step back, inhale, right foot, exhale, step forwards. Let's keep it going, keep that core switched on. Remember to stack hips underneath shoulders, and we can just tap the foot forward and then lunge back. We should be feeling it in this front quad. Let's keep moving for 2 and 1. Immediately switch sides. So take your weight in that right leg, inhale back, exhale forward. Keep that gaze focused. Keep squeezing that glute, drive through. 4, really try and sink it down. Big bend in that front knee. For 2, last 1, and all the way back up. Well done. Shake out the legs. Maybe roll out the ankles a little bit. And I don't know about you, but whenever I do any kind of balancing on one leg, by the end of the balancing series, that ankle is not feeling so great. It might be feeling a little bit better, hopefully a little bit better, in our reverse lunges. Let's catch our breath. And for this next set, of course, I'm going to give you the option to work with weights. So I'm going to work with these slightly lighter weights. I've got 2 4-kilo weights here and 1 8-kilo. So when you are incorporating weights into the reverse lunge, what you want to do is hold them in your hands nice and securely, and make sure we're not hunching up through the shoulders here. And when we step back, we're going to keep the weights exactly where they are and just allow them to drop a little bit closer to the mat without coming all the way down. And then step forward. Goes without saying, of course, that if you find it more difficult, so difficult that your form goes with the weights, then take it back to body weight and then work your way up. So let's take a breath, tighten up the core, find your drishti, and off we go. Right foot back and forward. Stay nice and strong, stack that torso. Remember, just tap the foot forward, and don't worry if you're a little bit wobbly. This isn't an exercise in perfection, don't worry. We're all good. Let's go for one more really strong step back and drive it forward straight away. Second side. Step back on that left foot and forward. Keep breathing. You got this, guys. Keep that core nice and strong. 4. Remember, sink it down. For 2. Last 1. Well done. and release. You can set those weights down. Take a breath. Oh, whoopsie. Maybe roll out the shoulders again. And when you're practicing this, in your own time, just really take it at your own pace, but you do want to be getting that heart rate up a little bit. And if you find, okay, I've hit the 4 kilos and I feel great, then feel free to keep adding weight. Maybe a kilo if you can get it every couple of weeks. Just make sure that the exercise is continuously challenging you, so you're not just becoming a boss of the 4 kilos and then leaving it there. You want to be a boss of all of the weights. Okay, let's bring it forward. We're going to go one more time. Then we're going to release a little bit from these lunges. You should be feeling it in those quads, maybe in the glutes as well. Don't worry, all that is a bit of lactic acid buildup, which is fine. You probably experience it in your yoga practice somewhere as well. So remember, weight's nice and heavy by the waist. Stand up tall, relax your shoulders, right foot back, and drive it through. Inhale down, exhale push. Really big drive through that front leg and squeeze the glutes at the top. We don't really need to rush here, so make sure we're not just trying to bomb it through. And switch. Left foot and forwards. And forwards. Now the less weight we can take with us forward on that left foot, the more we're going to feel it in the quads. 2. Last one. Well done. Amazing. Release the weights. Let's take it down to down dog. Arms up. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Well done. Take a sign out breath if you need. And then let's lift all the way up onto our toes. And exhale, bring the knees down. Come into our second child's pose. You want to give the shoulders a little bit of a break. Bring the hands to reach for the feet and head down. Just a chance here to bring that heart rate back down. Really well, everyone. We've got one more exercise to go through, and then we're down on the mats. One more big breath here. And then looking forward, bring yourself up to tabletop. And then exhale, take it to downward facing dog. Same as before, keep the legs as straight as you can, lift onto the toes and walk it forward. Now take a big breath in, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Well done. Okay. For this last exercise, we're going to come into a Cossack squat. So it's another one that looks quite similar to a pose you'll be used to in your yoga practice. So coming to the top of your yoga mat, face the long edge and take a big step to the back with your right foot. So you're in almost like a Prasarita stance. What we're going to do is we're going to push our hips back, lean the chest ever so slightly forward, bend into that back knee. So exactly the same as our squat, we're sending the knee in the direction of the toes and then come all the way up and then do it again towards the front. So hips back, lean the chest forward and squeeze at the top. Sit down into it and all the way up. Now this might sound and look a little bit like our ninja pose in yoga when we come all the way down, big stretch for the hamstring and for that hip at the back as well. And then often we travel in our ninja pose. But what I want you to do here is really try and tighten up the movement. So exactly the same as your Malasana and Bodyweight Squat. We don't want to sink down into it. We want loads of control. You're really going to feel that in this quad. And make sure you're using your core as well. Remember, when we think about core exercises, we're not just thinking about high planks and crunches. We're thinking about really all more compound movements, so using more than one joint. Keep that core switched on. So bum back, push down and up, down and up. Similar rep range as our reverse lunges. We're going to go 3 by 8 here. And really with these sorts of exercises, the heavier you can go, the more change you're going to see in the body, but exactly the same advice applies. If you're already finding it quite taxing with just your body weight, that is totally fine, stay there. Okay, I'm going to do the first one, body weight, and then I'm going to add weight to show you how to incorporate that as well. Arms out in front of you just so they're out of the way of the exercise. Breathe in, come down, stick that bum back, and push up. Down and up, down and up. 4 more. Sink it down. Big push up. Bum back, chest slightly forward. Nice explosive movement on the way up. All the way down, push up, down and up. Well done. Take a little breather. And just notice here as well, when you're sinking your bum back, leaning your chest forward, you still will be able to feel a deep stretch down the inside of that opposite leg, maybe into the hamstring as well. That's okay. It's where you want to be feeling it. Okay, so if you're going to add weight, I'm going to take one of the smaller ones and I'm going to hold it exactly the same way as what I did for the bodyweight squat. Handle part of the kettlebell down and take hold of it. Okay, 8 total. Off we go. Sink down, push up, all the way down and up. Keep breathing. Remember to really try and explode out at the top. 4 more. You got this. Keep moving. Remember, try not to sink too far into it. Find that point of tension and really push out of there. Last one. Well done. You can set your weight down and take a little breather. Maybe you're really starting to feel it in those quads. And feel free to have a little play with your rep ranges here. For this sort of stuff, I wouldn't really recommend you go any less than 8 reps. And certainly don't try and work with more than 12 to 15. That's going to change depending on your fitness and experience level, as well as what you want from this kind of work. But if you're just doing it for general conditioning for your yoga practice, these should be fine. Try and focus on weight and getting, like I said, to be the boss of the bigger weights. As we're in our Cossack squat as well, toes are slightly out on an angle, exactly as they would be in ninja pose. And what I mean by finding that point of tension is instead of relaxing into the pose and finding depth and stretch, you want to find control. And when you hit that point of resistance, that's where you push. So I can certainly feel it in that quad. Okay, let's grab the weight. Remember, if you're using a dumbbell, hold it like a goblet. Kettlebell handle down. Last time, off we go. Relax your shoulders. Lift the chest, engage the core, bum down, and push up. Down and up. Keep it moving. Try not to collapse. You got this. Halfway. Let's go for 2 more. Really stick that bum back. Big push up, last one. Really nice, well done. Let's set that weight over to one side and come to the top of our mats. Amazing work, guys. Let's take it down to the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, down dog. Well done. Let's release those hips. Take a moment here, a couple of breaths. And then slowly, slowly come into a nice gentle split dog on the right side. So don't worry about going too high with this. Just hold here if you want, or maybe bend that knee open the hip a little bit. Scorpion tail, maybe roll out your ankle. Try your best to keep the hips and the shoulders square if we can. Well done. Second side, left foot lifts. And then take it into that scorpion tail if you want to. Just holding your split dog is going to be fine as well. Nice work, drop it back down. Lift onto those toes, drop onto the knees, and then slowly we'll turn around to lie on the back. Well done. Once you get down onto your mat, you can just lengthen your lower back, tuck your tailbone underneath, and maybe allow the knees to fall together. Let's open those arms to a big T shape. Maybe make gentle windshield wiper motions with the knees. Feel free to close your eyes if you want to. And then let's bring those knees up through center. I'm going to release the hips, a little bit of a variation of our twist. Bring your right knee in, flex the toes, and then stack your right ankle over that left knee so you're in reclined figure 4. And we can just gently push that knee out if we want. And then you're welcome to stay here. If you want a bit deeper into those hips, you're going to twist so that right foot meets the mat or the floor on your left-hand side. And you're going to roll your head over to look towards your right hand. Just try and relax here. Feel free to use a soft Ujjayi breath or just allow your breath to ebb and flow. And then bring your legs up through center. Release that right foot and let's do that left side. As you're here, just witnessing that heart rate come back down. Maybe we feel a bit more in control of the breath. Just take a moment, thank yourself for perhaps trying something a little bit new today. Learning something a bit new about the ranges of motion we use in strengths versus stretch. And then twist if you want to. Left foot over towards the floor, roll your head over your left shoulder. Take another deep breath here. Bring those legs up. Maybe give the knees a little squeeze to your chest. Maybe a little rock from side to side. And then let's come briefly into Shavasana. So extend those legs. Let the toes fall out to either side. Hands by the waist. Breathe in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Relax any control you've built up over your breath. And if you have the time to do so today, feel free to stay here in Shavasana for a few minutes. Thanks so much for practicing with me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's lower body focus session, and I will see you next time. Until then, namaste.